Coming up on The Shield, the new residence hall on campus receives a temporary name as construction continues.
Also, an increase in temperatures brought major flooding to many parts of campus. We'll explain flood safety tips that you should know later on.
And a bittersweet moment for the Olympic athletes. The 2014 Winter Olympic Games are officially done in Sochi. More details to come. You're watching The Shield here on Channel 82.
Broadcasting from Schnabel Hall on the beautiful campus of Valparaiso University. You're watching The Shield on VUTV.
Hello, Valpo. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brendan Johnson.
And I'm Aimee Heyden. Starting with our top story, the new residence hall for sophomores that will open later this upcoming summer finally has a name, Beacon Hall.
I had the chance to sit down with Ryan Blevins, the Assistant Dean of Students for Residential Life, and other students to talk about how construction has come along since September and whether students are excited to possibly live there next school year. Through a rather unpredictable winter, the new sophomore residence hall, Beacon Hall, continues to rise amongst the rest of campus.
Most of our precast walls are up now, and everything's gone relatively smoothly. We've had a very interesting winter here, but thankfully we were able to get started earlier in the summer, and as a result we were able to get a lot of things enclosed before the really bad weather came in and started kicking in. So even though we've had really cold weather and snow and everything, we're still able to get progress done. So we're still on schedule for opening for the fall.
Among the latest developments are a new placeholder name reflecting the university's motto, as well as a confirmed cost put in place for next year.
The price for next year has been set by the board of directors, and it will be about $8,900 for the year, or $4,450 per semester per student. It is more expensive, of course, than the LaPorte buildings, and more so than Warenberg and GM. But the amenities of the building lend itself to that price. It is still, though, cheaper than the Uptown East apartments.
Student reactions varied when given the news on the price of the new building.
I think it's quite expensive for the building. I mean, yes, I understand it's new, but you have to consider whether students can afford it or not.
I think it's acceptable. Given the circumstances, it is a new building, and I know some students are upset that it is that high. But I mean, you compare it to like here at Lincoln building or any of the other places. It's such an upgrade, and though it isn't suite style like Uptown, it does have the qualities of the on-side bathroom and full living conditions for air conditioning, heating, and all the other sorts of accommodations. So I don't think it's completely unreasonable.
I think that is definitely a very high figure, and I think it's too expensive for most sophomores, especially compared to the other dorm.
Yeah, only thing you're gonna get is just your private bathroom, and then for that, I think extra $2,000 is not worth it.
And even with that price, students still have varying opinions about their new home.
I'm excited to live in Beacon Hall. I think it's going to bring a new experience to the university, a new experience to myself, developing my character, personality, and I look forward to living it.
Before the cost, I was excited. After the cost, I'm not.
I think it's good because we need more space, and it'll be a really nice building, and it'll be newer. So that's always a good thing. It's just... So it is kind of pricey.
It was finally nice to see some warm temperatures in the Valpo area last week, but it caused much of the campus to flood as the snow began to melt. As spring nears and flooding becomes more of an issue, Storm Shield meteorologist Lauren Hilko gives us all information we need to know about flooding.
Last Thursday, one common sight to see around campus was flooding due to all the rain and melting snow. These early spring-like temperatures caused many obstacles, making walking very difficult. From the sidewalks by the VUCA to the sidewalks by Brandt, many walkways became impassable. With spring quickly around the corner, flooding will be a very common occurrence. So here are some facts to keep in mind when the flooding comes. According to NOAA.com, flooding is the #1 cause of deaths associated with thunderstorms, more than 140 fatalities every year. When flooding arises, remembering the following do's and don'ts. Do listen to instructions. Make sure and watch your local station and keep up to date online. If you live near a river, ice jams may arise. If this problem occurs, make sure and seek higher ground. One thing you never want to do is drive through a flooded roadway. It is very hard to judge the depth of a flooded roadway, especially at night. According to floodsafety.com, over 50% of flood-related deaths are due to vehicle-related drownings. According to NOAA.com, most flash flood Fatalities occur at night, and most victims are people who become trapped in automobiles. 6 inches of fast-moving water can knock you off your feet. A depth of 2 feet will cause most vehicles to float. So when it comes to driving to and from classes or walking, make sure and take precautions when flooding occurs. So as spring is quickly approaching, follow these few simple tips when it comes to flooding, and remember, turn around, don't drown. For The Shield, I'm meteorologist Lauren Hilko.
In honor of its 50th anniversary, the graduate school welcomed Roei Gilad, Consul General of Israel to the Midwest, to speak to students about issues facing the Middle East.
Israel is an island of stability within what I call an ocean of instability.
In addition to remarks about the Middle East, Mr. Gilad had thoughts about how Valpo can interact with Israel.
I understand currently there are many students here from the Middle East. You hardly have any students from Israel. I think something can be done about it. Look, Valparaiso is not a huge university. The name still is not known in Israel. But I think it's up to the administration, to the management of this university to make sure to market it in Israel.
At the conclusion of his talk, Mr. Gilad was presented with a Valpo soccer t-shirt. We hope his excitement reflects a future partnership between Israel and the university.
And the 2014 Winter Olympic Games in Sochi came to a close Sunday night. Misha the Bear blew out the Olympic flame as a sign to officially end the Games. The athletes took center stage for one last time before heading back to the U.S. The final medal count stands at Russia 33, the U.S. 28, and Norway 26. The next Winter Olympic Games will be held in Pyeongchang, South Korea in 2018.
And still to come, the first ever Bitcoin ATM is finally here in the United States.
Plus, Netflix and Comcast joined together to create the ultimate streaming deal for customers.
Another round of cold Arctic air is set to move into Valpo. I'll let you know how long it's going to be sticking around, how cold we're going to get, as well as a series of high pressure systems will be moving through, keeping us away from that snow. So could we finally be saying goodbye to Old Man Winter? I'll let you know coming up after the break.
On a campus plagued with terrible weather, Valpo students suffer from boredom with no motivation to leave their room. They begin to search for free movies and stumble upon Valpo's new free movie streaming website, where you get unlimited free access to recent movies like Despicable Me 2 and Jobs at the tips of your fingers. So if you're feeling bored, then don't wait. Grab some friends, find a seat, and enjoy a movie on movies.valpo.edu.
Interested in the television industry? Stop by our office in Schnabel Hall and join VUTV today.
Hi everybody, I'm Dick Vitale of ESPN, and I'm on VUTV. It's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
Welcome back to The Shield. Like I said before break, another round of cold Arctic air is set to return. However, a couple high pressure systems will be moving through, and that's really going to keep our weather nice just in time for spring break. So tomorrow, that cold front that passed through today will slowly move off to the east while this high pressure system starts to come down from Canada, and that's going to continue to circulate that cooler Arctic air. Now, around this time is when it's going to be gusty as well, so it's going to feel a lot cooler than it is with those gusts, so do keep that in mind when going outside. And then again, another high pressure system moves and sets up on Saturday, and it starts to move into our area by Sunday. So throughout this time, it's going to be a fairly fair sky conditions across much of the Midwest, as high pressure systems are called our fair weather friends. Temperature-wise, tomorrow we're going to wake up around 1 degree outside, so it is going to be very cold. If you do have an early morning class, do dress accordingly. You can see that off to our northwest, it is even cooler with those pinks and purples marking negative temperatures, and that's going to continue to last throughout the day on Thursday. We're only going to get up to around 5 degrees. It will be sunny, so we may see a couple 6 or 7 degree marks here, but overall it's going to be a very cold day. And then overnight, once we lose that daytime heat, again, we're going to cool down into those single and negative digits overnight, and then into Friday morning. Again, if you're waking up early, -7 degrees outside, so do dress up. Try not to leave a lot of skin exposed with these conditions. And again, off to our northwest, those pinks and whites symbolizing that much cooler air. And going into Friday, as you're leaving for spring break, we will heat up just shy of 20 degrees. So we're leaving spring break, but it's going to feel like winter break if you are sticking around, because it is going to be cold for these first couple days of spring break. So for tonight, cloudy. Those clouds will be building, a low of 5 degrees. Those winds out of the west at 10 to 20 miles per hour and gusting up to 40. So it is going to be a windy and cold night. May want to bring an extra blanket or two, turn up that heat. Tomorrow, 15 degrees for a high. Sunny though, so it will be a fairly nice day. It's going to feel still cold though with those winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now for your forecast, Thursday is looking cloudy again in the morning. Once those clouds clear though, it will feel fairly nice outside, and again, that's going to be a high of about 10 degrees. And then Friday, sunny with a high of 15. Saturday, so the start of spring break, really, we're going to gradually see a nice heat up starting at 14 degrees on Saturday, and then going into Sunday and Monday, we won't be here, but we may see another chance of flurries or two for the start of next week. So for spring break, we may see another flurry or two, unfortunately.
It's not really a complete spring break anymore.
No, but luckily, if you're not staying here, it will feel like spring break. Hopefully, you guys are both going somewhere warm. I'm going down south, so I will be getting away from all these snow. So.
Yeah.
Going an hour west.
Yep.
I'm not leaving this.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
England probably has some better weather than this.
Probably.
All right, I'll be there. All right, thanks, Blaise. And still ahead, find out how one student is raising money to pay off college.
Also, Ford unveils the new 2015 Ford Focus. And if you would like to stay up to date on all Valpo news, weather, and sports, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at ValpoVUTV. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hi everybody, I'm Dick Vitale of ESPN, and I'm on VUTV. It's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
On a campus plagued with terrible weather, Valpo students suffer from boredom with no motivation to leave their room. They begin to search for free movies and stumble upon Valpo's new free movie streaming website, where you get unlimited free access to recent movies like Despicable Me 2 and Jobs at the tips of your fingers. So if you're feeling bored, then don't wait. Grab some friends, find a seat, and enjoy a movie on movies.valpo.edu.
Virtual currency is starting to become the next big thing. The first Bitcoin ATM made its first appearance in New Mexico, but will people even use it? Reporter Laura Thorne explains more.
Do you know what Bitcoin is?
No, never heard of it.
She's not alone.
Isn't it like imaginary money? Isn't that what it is?
Not exactly.
I think it's something on the internet that's worth currency.
He's getting closer, and Bitcoin is getting closer to us. The first ever Bitcoin ATM is now up and working in Albuquerque at the cigar shop Imbibe.
So because the vast majority of us have no idea what a Bitcoin is, we went straight to the source, the owner of Enchanted Bitcoins, to ask him to explain this currency.
Perhaps you can call it programmable money.
Eric Stromberg says all you need is cash and a smartphone.
I'm going to go ahead and insert $1.
What he's doing is purchasing a fraction of a Bitcoin. The digital currency then shows up in a virtual account, in this case, Stromberg's phone.
So where can I use my Bitcoin?
Well, there are a small but growing number of merchants that accept Bitcoin.
Websites like Overstock.com and even some local New Mexico restaurants, including Ortega's. But how about this? One place that doesn't accept Bitcoin is the shop where the ATM is located. But that could change soon.
We want to be part of the future.
As soon as next week, a manager tells us you may be able to pay with Bitcoin at Imbibe.
To all Netflix users, streaming movies and shows are about to get even faster. Netflix and Comcast made a deal to ensure programs are streaming better in households. The Wall Street Journal reports that Netflix can connect directly to Comcast's internet service. Netflix and online providers have been at odds over the huge amount of bandwidth used by streaming video.
Detroit leaders want to cut pensions as part of their plan to get out of bankruptcy. Under the new cut, city employees will lose 34% of their pension benefits. The plan will also cut various creditors. The filing comes nearly 7 months after the city filed for bankruptcy court protection.
A Girl Scout troop is giving back to the Colorado National Guard after being saved last September. They were stranded for several days at an outdoor education center before getting help. Every year, the Girl Scouts select a hometown hero and reward them with Girl Scout cookies for their bravery. For this troop, it was an easy decision.
They used their time to come up to Calwood and save us from the floods, and so we decided that this is how we want to repay them.
Next month, the Girl Scouts plan to deliver their care packages in person to the Colorado National Guard.
Valpo students, pay attention to this, especially if you're trying to find some extra income. An Oregon State student is raising thousands of dollars for college simply by collecting cans. How about that? Stephanie Lilly began collecting cans and bottles her junior year of high school to fundraise for a senior trip, but that wasn't the end. Reporter Chris Liedl tells us how she really underestimated where it would take her next.
What started as an idea for Super Bowl weekend became a 5-year part-time job.
We figured, well, if he can do it after Super Bowl, you know, he can do it whenever, so we just started doing it pretty much every week.
It went so well, Stephanie Lilly says she stuck with it.
It's like a business, you know, it brings in the money and, you know, it works.
5 cents per can and a little less for plastic.
Tin or plastic is
nicer than glass.
Stephanie is the youngest of 4, her parents, factory workers. She knew going to school would mean taking out expensive loans. Stephanie says she wanted to avoid that at all costs, and her family was there to support her one can at a time.
In the morning we get up, we drive around the community, and if they're set out, we pick them up, and then usually we'll wait a few hours, and then we'll go out again for people that are a little later.
The Lilies cycle through about 200 streets every 6 to 8 weeks, handing out flyers before they come on Saturday. Sundays and Mondays are sorting days. And then it's off to the local market, where they are paid per bag. A good weekend nets a little over $100.
I will say that between my job and the bottles, which are my 2 incomes, I'm debt-free.
And finally, Ford unveiled their new 2015 Ford Focus to the world. The new car has more pronounced headlights, an 8-inch display inside the car for the My Ford Touch, and an improved blind spot information system. It can also connect to your smartphone and detect crashes up to 50 miles per hour. The new Ford Focus is expected to ship in the second half of 2014.
Coming up after the break, a Valpo Sports exclusive as we sit down with the freshman basketball players on their first year here, plus an overview on the men's and women's basketball games. We'll be right back.
On a campus plagued with terrible weather, Valpo students suffer from boredom with no motivation to leave their room. They begin to search for free movies and stumble upon Valpo's new free movie streaming website, where you get unlimited free access to recent movies like Despicable Me 2 and Jobs at the tips of your fingers. So if you're feeling bored, then don't wait. Grab some friends, find a seat, and enjoy a movie on movies.valpo.edu.
Interested in the television industry? Stop by our office in Schnabel Hall and join VUTV today.
And now with a look at your Crusader sports, Dustin Levi joins us in the studio.
Thanks, guys. On Thursday and Saturday, the men's and women's basketball teams provided the Crusader faithful with some entertaining basketball. This weekend, the men's team played some key Horizon League games, trying to position themselves with a good seed before the tournament starts. Meanwhile, on the women's side, they were looking to end a rough 6-game losing skid. So let's start with Thursday's men's basketball game. On Thursday, the Crusaders had a big conference matchup against conference leader Green Bay, who the Crusaders had recently defeated at the Arc on January 29th. Looking to avenge that 15-point loss to the Crusaders, Green Bay came out on fire, starting the game on a 13-2 run. The Crusaders, however, fought back from that double-digit deficit in the first half and was able to go into halftime only down by 3. Both teams went back and forth throughout the second half, but Green Bay always kept its distance and never let the Crusaders get too close. Green Bay used a late second half run to finally pull away at the end and secure a 67-53 victory over the Crusaders. And in the process, Green Bay clinched a share of the Horizon League title as well. Freshmen Alec Peters and Jabril Adekoya had 11 points apiece for the Crusaders in defeat. In a quick turnaround, the Crusaders had a home afternoon game against Youngstown State. The game was a hard-fought one from the beginning to the end. With the exception of scoring the opening basket, the Crusaders trailed the entire game until freshman Alec Peters made one of his 5 3-pointers to give the Crusaders a 61-59 lead with 5:06 remaining in the second half. From that point on, Youngstown State and Valparaiso traded baskets, and it ended with a Bobby Capobianco drilling a game-winning 3 with 59 seconds remaining in the game. That proved to be enough for the Crusaders as they eked out a 68-66 victory over Youngstown State. Alec Peters had 22 to lead Valparaiso. Vontae Doherty had 15 points and 6 assists, while Capobianco had 8 points off the bench. The men's team is now 8-4 in conference play, and their next game is on February 25th, Tuesday, at Wright State. On the women's side, the Lady Crusaders had a tough act to follow, with the men's team winning such an entertaining game right before them, but they more than responded. On the women's side, the Lady Crusaders had a tough act to follow, with men's team winning such an entertaining game right before them, but they more than responded. The Crusaders faced off with an Oakland squad who handed the Lady Crusaders an 88-55 defeat earlier in the season. With revenge on their minds, the Crusaders put forth the best performance of the season by far. The Crusaders led throughout the entire game and pulled off a wire-to-wire victory, 84-70. Sharon Karunji had a big night down low for Valpo as the junior recorded 22 points and 16 rebounds. Sheree Richardson and Jessie Wiedemann each pitched in 17, while Jessica Carr registered a career-high 16 points. The women's team is now 2-10 in conference play and will look to get another win on February 26 when they face off against Detroit at Detroit. For all your Valparaiso sports info, remember to stay connected at valpoathletics.com. For VUTV Sports, I'm Dustin Levi. Back to you.
Thanks, Dustin. And speaking of basketball, Shield Sports reporter Tommy Mantis was able to sit down with the men's freshman basketball players. It's a Valpo Sports exclusive as he talks to them about their impact on the team as well as their being first years on campus.
Coming into the season, no one really knew how the Crusaders would do because they had just lost 6 seniors going into the season. With so much uncertainty, the Crusaders have had to look to their freshmen, Clay Yo, Alec Peters, Jabril Adekoya, and Lexus Williams, as key players as they make their run towards the Horizon League tournament.
Any role that I had to play, if I had to come off the bench, if I had to just be sitting there, just anything to help the team win.
It's really cool for me. It's a humbling experience to be able to start. Fortunate enough to get that opportunity. I feel like I've worked hard and Coach trusts me.
I mean, I came in not knowing, what freshman year was going to be like, and it definitely opened my eyes to the new things, new possibilities you can have being a college basketball player, and it's really been a fun experience.
The Crusaders have had to start and rely upon these star freshmen, and it has worked to their advantage. The young Crusaders provide a lot of energy and heart throughout this season.
I attribute that a lot to the coaches and the other players for putting me in successful positions to, to do good and to help this team. And it's just been a learning experience so far, and hopefully we can finish out the season strong.
It was surreal. This is probably my first breakout game in college, so it puts you on a level when a shot goes in, you see the ball go in, it's kind of your next one's going to go into. You just got to have that mindset, and it's helped my confidence a lot.
It is uncertain how far the Crusaders will go this season, as the Horizon League provides a lot of hilarity. But if we know anything, the Crusader freshmen are gaining experience, and their future is beyond bright. For the Shield, at VUTV, I'm Tommy Mantis.
Coming up, Storm Shield meteorologist Blaise Keller gives us a look at weather. Stay with us.
Hi everybody, I'm Dick Vitale of ESPN, and I'm on VUTV. It's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
On a campus plagued with terrible weather, Valpo students suffer from boredom with no motivation to leave their room. They begin to search for free movies and stumble upon Valpo's new free movie streaming website, where you get unlimited free access to recent movies like Despicable Me 2 and Jobs at the tips of your fingers. So if you're feeling bored, then don't wait. Grab some friends, find a seat, and enjoy a movie on movies.valpo.edu.
So Blaise, we've seen all this really cold weather. Kind of feels more like a winter break that we're going into, not a spring break. Are we actually going to get any of that nice weather back?
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be cold. We may see a actual snow shower or two towards the beginning of spring break, but today and tomorrow and Friday leading up to spring break, we're going to see some sunny skies. Highs are only going to be in the low to mid-teens, and then going into spring break, we will start to heat up. However, we may see a snow shower or two starting Sunday and into Monday. So even though it is spring break, it's going to feel like winter break part 2, but luckily we're all going to get out of Valparaiso and have a nice little relaxing break. So
yeah, Mother Nature just won't quit this winter.
It's a system after system. So unfortunately, let's hope that this is finally the end.
Fingers crossed.
Yep, fingers crossed.
Well, that does it for the Shield today. To stay up to date on all your Valpo news, weather, and sports, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at ValpoVUTV.
And I'm Brendan Johnson. For everyone here, have a great day, Valpo.